Peter Boolkah here, and welcome to today's edition of The Transition Guide. Now, joining me in the studio today is Monte Wyatt, author of Pulling Profits Out of a Hat. Good morning, Monte.
Peter, how are you?
I'm very well, Monte. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. It's great to be with you.
You know, it's good to have you back on, actually, because last time we spoke, you were in the process of writing your book.
Yes.
And now it's finally finished.
You know, it's been a big journey. I mean, it really has. It's been a number of years with the content, but writing the book and get it all published, that's a big process.
No, congratulations. Now, I suppose the first question, first and foremost, why don't you tell the audience really what Pulling Profits is all about?
You know, Pulling Profits is all about growing an organization by discipline. And that's the scary thing. In most businesses, we try to grow and we base it around our people. Mm-hmm. What Pulling Profits Out of a Hat talks about is creating the disciplines that every organization needs to have consistency and predictability and stability in the organization.
Right. Because one of the questions I was going to ask you was, are you just another book of content? Because you know what it's like out there. Everyone's an author. There is so much content out there, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You're going for the mid-market business and you're coming up against a couple of established players. So primarily, what is your key differentiator? Is it the habits that really separates you from everybody else?
You know, the big thing that I see, it's one, bringing clarity to the simplicity of how to grow an organization. And when I think of the simplicity, we try to make it so difficult that there's all these new things and we got 20 books on this and we got 20 books on that. We've got to make it simple to grow business. And once we make the business scalable, then it's good. We can't just focus on the people. We have to do people and the business.
Yeah. And that's interesting you say that. And one of the things that I often come across is most entrepreneurs that actually start mid-market business, well, they never start mid-market business. They start a shoebox business. And it happens to grow to a mid-market business. But most of them really have never had any sort of higher formal education.
Right.
In fact, a lot of the entrepreneurs that I sort of coach, they're damn talented people, but they sucked at school.
Well, they're talented in their profession.
Yes,
they're the great engineer, they're the great accountant, whatever it might be, the great businessman, but doesn't know business. And when I say doesn't know business, it's how do you make a business grow, not just a specific entity of topic.
Yeah.
And it's got to be about how do we grow our leaders, our managers, how do we gain the right customers, how do we become consistent so we can duplicate in one market to the next market.
But I find that a lot of the people that I work with, school wasn't for them.
No.
They were very practical minded people, could go out and make things happen. But school really wasn't their forte, and more importantly, the teachers just didn't know how to teach them, and hence why they thought that they sucked at school. But interestingly is, there are a lot of the books out there though, let's be honest, they scare the shit out of entrepreneurs. You start reading these books, they can be quite heavy going, and I'll give you a great example. We've both been part of Scaling Up, and you start looking at those books, and really, you've got to have an Ivy League mindset really to start digesting half of that stuff.
We've done a great job in this book to make it for the everyday person and to make it so clear that this is a field guide. If you need to work on strategy, then only do the strategy section in the book. There's no need to get discouraged with the rest of it right now. Let's focus on strategy. And it is that clear as a field guide because we want to make every organization out there someone that can duplicate in other markets. It isn't just about scaling your business. It's about building a business that's going to outlast you. I want to stress this. This isn't just building a business that you're building up to sell to someone else. Yes, that can be many people's desires, and you certainly can do that with this content. But I want you to build a business that will outlast you because you've built the systems, the processes, the right strategy for the future. A strategy to build up to sell is not a good strategy. Yes, that's a strategy, but I want you to build a strategy that is solving a need in the market, that you're building a strategy for the company, not the product.
And how often do you find that people fall into the other trap?
all the time. We build a strategy around a product, and if that product dies, the company dies. So we've got to make sure that you're building a strategy of what's the opportunity in the market that as a company we're going after, that as an organization we're going to solve that need, and we're going to build a strategy, and then the products come. Yeah, we may start out as product focused just to get us some revenue and get us some traction, but we've got to make sure that ultimately we're building a strategy for long-term business success.
Now, just so that people are not disillusioned, because very often people pick up a book and think there's a quick fix. All right, now this whole sort of process isn't going to be a quick fix, is it?
Not at all. You know, I start, a lot of my clients have a few hundred to a few thousand employees already.
Yep.
And so it's not like they've got 10 people and we want to scale to 1,000 people. They've already got hundreds of people. And when you've got already a base and you want to expand the business, you've got to change your ways of working. You've got to change your leadership processes, your management processes, our marketing, our sales, our people development. We've got to change those things. And I have a $1 billion client that we've been working together for over 3 years. And we're seeing the benefits starting now, because it takes time to grow your people. Now, one of the things that I always share at the beginning of every relationship, I say, I guarantee within 6, 12, 18 months, whatever it is, people will not be here either because they don't like your change or you will ask them to leave.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's amazing. They've got 70 retail locations. I bet they've changed no less than 30 of those location managers in this time period because they're not willing to change, or they've asked them to leave because they're not able to make the change. And that is a great point. If you're wanting a silver bullet, it doesn't exist.
No, there is no such thing as a silver bullet, I'm afraid. There is actually a lot of hard work, dedication, focus, commitment,
Discipline. And
discipline.
to me, it does. If the CEO and executive team is not disciplined, then the rest of the business can't be disciplined.
Absolutely.
And that's the focus. We can have somebody standing at the top of the mountain and yelling go, but if we don't develop the right skills and discipline in that leader and that manager at the top of the mountain, the rest of the people can't do it.
There's a great book I read recently by an author called David Goggins.
Okay?
Yeah, Can't Hurt Me, and he's an ex-retired Navy SEAL. Man, that man is an absolute machine. And you look at what he achieves. I mean, he's an ultra marathon runner. So I mean, you're talking about the 100 miles plus. But his entire life's been around a set of really strong disciplines. And I tend to agree with you that discipline tends to be one of the biggest challenges of businesses today. People just don't have that discipline. People get too easily distracted.
Well, they make the business about the person in the chair, whether it's the sales rep, the manager, the CEO, the vice president. They make it about the person instead of making it about what's the best practice to make this meeting great. Well, he shows up late, so the meeting starts late. No, the meeting starts on time. We'll plan the next year based on what the leader wants. No, this is the way our company plans. You've got to make your organizational disciplines clear and make it about the organization, not the individual.
Absolutely.
The individual is the facilitator of the process, and his leadership shows the energy, and his management shows the implementation. But we've got to have organizational disciplines.
So if people want to know more about pulling profits, where do they need to go?
So go to addZerosNow.com, and what you'll see on that website is a little more insight on the 5 disciplines. You can take a 5 disciplines assessment to see what area that you think your organization needs the most work. But you can also get connected with one of our facilitators. We have facilitators around the world that are helping organizations through strategic thinking, execution planning processes, through developing these disciplines in their organization. And these facilitators have been trained with the skills to lead your executives, to develop your executives, to create the organizational discipline that's needed. So addZerosNow.com.
Fantastic, Monte. Thank you so much. Now, if you've got any questions around pulling profits, putting together strategic planning, looking at the 5 disciplines, and you want more information, head over to Boolkah.com boolkah.com, get in contact, and remember, failing to learn is learning to fail.